It simply means that we don't want darkness. We really don't want darkness. Whoever knows the worth of the moon should not do it anyhow. Going further, you all know Ebenezer Obe Fabi. In their family, this is how they call them. Simply means that you cannot do evil in the daylight. You will not go scot-free.
Okay. Now let's come back to the issue of where we are now with the way things are. You have said that the president is giving a timeline of another 6 months from here. If you are looking at what is on ground now, do you see this actually manifesting, happening, being feasible?
No, I am not hopeful. First of all, I have lost any confidence in the ability of the Jonathan administration to do anything tangible within the remaining time of his first administration.
Why is that?
Anytime you talk about the inability of this government to perform, even the staunchest defenders of this administration are easy to come around with excuses that most of the time sounds very flimsy. So it doesn't look like they're in a mood to work. And now you are entering an election year where, as it is traditional in Nigeria, all other things will be suspended for politicking. I don't see how the government will be able to concentrate to do the work that is expected of it. I don't see how it's going to happen.
Wouldn't you think that it will be the appropriate opportunity for them to do everything humanly possible so that this will be one of the election points for winning the next election?
No, I don't. I don't want to be that outrageously optimistic, because 6 months, we are talking about dilapidated infrastructure. I don't know what they are going to do in 6 months to fix this infrastructure, because that's where I am worried about. I'm really, really worried. The infrastructure that we have on the ground today is dilapidated. Even if there is enough energy to evacuate and distribute, I don't think that the distribution facilities can carry what we will call uninterrupted power supply for up to a year or even up to a month without us having some very, very serious crisis. And it will certainly require more than 6 months to put all of that together.
I don't think the president was referring to uninterrupted power supply.
It's a power
24 hours power round the clock. I don't think that's what he was referring to.
But I still do not want to be optimistic, like I said, because this president, like play, the first administration is ending, and this man, he finished 2 years for the other, almost 2 years for the late president, and nothing has really happened. Each time we talk, they say Boko Haram did not allow him work, as though strong leaders emerge when there are no crises. I tell them that America has had several presidents, but you remember only a few, because they came at the time when the country was facing some very, very terrible challenges. They helped their nations to come out stronger from those crises. That is why they are remembered. Churchill is remembered because he came at the time when Britain was facing some of his greatest crises. And then I would have thought that the Boko Haram crisis would have been an opportunity for Mr. President to be one of Nigeria's greatest presidents. It shouldn't have become an excuse for not performing. And that is what even those who are singing for him are saying. They did not allow him to work. He can only work in the second term. And now the only thing on their minds now is politics. It's how to get a second term. And they are getting very close to it. So I am not hopeful that they will be able to do anything reasonable before the end of this first term.
This is just hypothetical. Do you think that a government can be re-elected based on its solving NEPA problem? I mean, power problem in Nigeria? Honestly,
in Nigeria, the way, we are used to tokenism. In Nigeria, if any government can solve the power problem, honestly, you will be Nigeria's greatest president, because that is what affects every one of us, apart from our fuel. Just give us light, and you are sure that you will be re-elected again. And Mr. President seems to have lost that opportunity.
But he has made it clear that, yes, by 2014, or before the end of 2014, that we will see...
The only thing I want to take away from Mr. President's promise is to tell other Nigerians to at least congratulate him for revamping the power reform agenda, because it was abandoned, suspended under Yar'Adua after the enactment of the Electric Power Sector Act of 2005. When Obasanjo left, they sacked the board of NEPA twice. When Yar'Adua came, it was suspended. And Mr. President had to revisit the issue in December 2010 after the power reform roadmap was launched in Lagos. And since then, we have seen gradual progress, which culminated in this privatization. I want to congratulate his courage for going through this. It sure was not easy, not with what was coming from the unions. Even though I'm an activist, for once I disagreed with the unions and felt that the only way that we could have light in this country was to privatize NEPA. And I want to congratulate his courage for pushing through with the reform up to this point. But I am not hopeful that power will improve in the next 6 months. I think that is outrageous and
it's got to be final word now. As we have to wrap up. So go ahead, ask your question. That will be the final.
I was thinking about the issue of the gas, which now seems to be a major constraint on the investors. How do you think that that's going to be solved? Because unless that is solved, we still will be in darkness.
I thank you very much. You have now touched the core point in the issue of electricity. I have not seen if I was the head of a house and my cousin is doing all he can to bring the name of my family into disrepute, I will do one thing or the other to checkmate him. The president has given his servants a leeway, too much leeway to tarnish his image. I know the president cannot leave Abuja or to run into the PACN office to be operating there, but he should have listened to the cries of the Nigerians. One of the problems in the electricity sector is engineer Amadi. If the president had listened to our cry that please replace this Amadi, he does not
but
have.
What has it got to do? He's managing the
Wait,
FRC.
it is his policies. It is his policies.
Sorry, it will be wrong to assume that Dr. Mahdi has got anything to do with the unbundling of NEPA or even what's the...
There are other issues connected with it. If Dr. Ahmadi knows, as it is in this newspaper, that the amount of gas going to fertilizer plants, cement factories and plastic industries is very high, while the amount of gas being supplied to the power sector is low, but yet the charges they give the consumers, you, madam, my friend, does not come down. And the reason being that the government is not bothered about how to stop two things. One, gas flaring. Two, there should be an enactment from the National Assembly about importation of generators. Wow. We started with Ghana, or we started before Ghana.
Okay, well, we said the final word, but unfortunately we're moving into another issue. Okay. That will be conversation for another day. Your final word, very quickly, in one sentence.
Well, very quickly.
We're in 2014. You could use the opportunity to react to what he has said, but...
Yeah, you see, the last issue, the president has given the contracts for the protection of our pipelines to the former militants, and we expected that since they knew those who were busting our lines, it will become history by now. But at the end of the day, we are just finding out that it was still in the spirit of our turn. Some people needed to get money. It wasn't meant to protect any pipeline after all. So as long as they solve that problem, the issue of getting improved or uninterrupted power supply in Nigeria will remain
a mirage.
The paperwork has been done, but I think that there must be a political will to follow
to make it happen.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Agba Jalingo, publisher, Cross River Watch, as well as Abayomi Dawodu, a power analyst. Thank you very much for coming to share your thoughts on this with us this morning. Sunrise will return in just a moment with the home stretch. Having stayed with us this long, you might as well remain with us.